What's up guys, Exitech. Today I'm going to be putting strut mount kits on the rears. I've already done the front, or else I'd kind of do that too. I'll show you just one rear since they're both the same concept. I have the ZZP strut mount kit as well as the ZZP lowering springs. Like I said, front's already done. Just showing you one. So on that note, let's get to it. About like that. Just go ahead and pop it on out as far as you can. Get it as flush with that as you can. That way the whole assembly doesn't fall off on you. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so once you got the whole thing removed from your strut assembly, you got your stabilizer bar taken off, you're going to lower the vehicle, get inside the trunk, find the 3 bolts that bolt up to the top of your strut assembly, and you're going to start taking those off. Probably just start with 2 at a time. That way on the last one it's still holding it up there so you can get some kind of support underneath it to make sure it doesn't fall on your feet. Granted, if you're doing this kind of stuff in a shop, you probably should have steel toes shoes on anyway, or boots. So that.
Fucking blind.
Smoking.
Oh, okay.
What's up?
Can you hear me on that?
Yeah?
Oh, okay. Well, you have to, besides just doing that tonight.
No, I don't know why. What's up?
Nothing, think about hanging out with Robbie for a little bit before Susan gets back in town.
Oh, yeah?
So, throwing that out there.
Okay. Where at? Over at his house?
More than likely, yeah, just because, I have a feeling that he don't want to leave his house because he hasn't been there since they got married and moved in together by themselves. And I know he's enjoying it.
I'm sure.
He told me the other day, he was like, man, I understand what you said. But the kids, gently.
Yeah. Now I guess he's getting ready to have his daughter back, too.
Yep. And the latest is that he keeps telling me that they're on their way back out of town. And
She's not.
I'm gonna sit on the road right now and return that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Do I?
That Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That movie, Brad Pitt, Leonardo.
Returning it? Well, it didn't work?
You actually rent DVDs?
No, do you? I watched it already. I'm just returning it.
Returning it where?
Oh, the Walgreens real fast.
Walgreens?
You
Wait, you
rent?
can't order that shit online? You can't rent that shit online?
Like I said, once you get these 2 off, you've got this one down here more towards. You want to hang on the phone? Then we can chat back. Totally.
Said, yes, I'll hang it.
What?
Get back in his car.
How I'm going to secure the strut and keep it from falling, basically. The bungee cord holding this on, there's typically little holes over here. Use whatever you'd like to kind of hold it up. I also have wood underneath the rotor. Since it's not moving out of this assembly, use it just to kind of hold the rotor up and keep it in its place. And then we're going to go and undo that last bolt. And just like that, it's all out. Now, let's get this thing on the spring compressor, get the lowering spring, and the new strut mount put on. So, there we are. We'll go ahead and unpackage everything. That way we've got it ready to go. Bear with me. It's the first time doing a rear. So we've got our mount plate. And we've got our bearings and new bolts, nuts for the bolts. on top of this. That way you don't have to reuse any of your old stuff. So, we're going to get this started. So now that we got the spring compressed, there's a nice space in between the bottom plate and the actual bottom of the spring. You can see I'm moving the whole strut without moving the spring. Go ahead and take some WD-40, PB Blaster, lubricant, anything. Give it a little spray up top. Just make sure everything gets lubricated and nothing sticks, causing the rod for the strut to actually spin without causing the nut to turn. We're gonna take a 22. I use 1/2 inch impact on everything. Nothing gets damaged. You can use a 3/8, whatever works for you really. Hook it up. Let's get this thing off of here. So now we've got all of it apart. You can hold one or simply just come off. You can see everything here. Inside of here is a little casing. That will be put into the new one. That way it actually supports the rod. You get the gist of it. One thing you will want to keep is the bolt for the strut. That way, nut, not bolt. That way you don't lose it like I just did. Yeah. Plus the kit doesn't actually come with another one, so make sure you keep it. Now all it's said and done, go ahead. We'll compare the two. Look pretty much similar. Not really anything's different from them, so I wouldn't really say it's a performance upgrade. More just typical wear items that need replaced. Set your bolts for the top of it off to the side. Just don't forget where you set them. Then you got your sleeve. Like I said, it just goes in there. You just slide it right in. The old one has knobs on the inside. You can see this one has no knobs. Show you the old one. I don't know if you guys can see those knobs in there. But it basically just because the sleeve was too large, so they just kind of added that to help secure the strut rod. Trash. Get this one put in. Get everything together. Then we're going to take this out. Okay, so now I've got it about as good as it's going to get. Fortunately, I can't get it to go much lower, so we're just going to have to run it on as it is. So I have everything ready. This little piece comes with it. It just sits on top. Make sure that it doesn't, the bolt nut don't press too much into the rubber, causing big problems basically. Make sure you got that ready. Make sure you have this ready afterwards. I just sit it right there on one of the bolts. You're gonna grab your strut, stick it on there, make sure that the spring sits inside the groove. Get your mount kit ready. Get it over top. Got it on there. Little WD-40 PB blaster, never hurt anybody. Make sure it goes on there nice and smooth, like. Get your impact again. Try to keep everything as straight as possible. Set your impact off, let it go, and start releasing it. Try to keep it as straight as you can while letting it go down. All the way out. Voila, you've got it done. Note, what I like to do after I get it done, kind of hold it straight, make sure you got everything. Give it a few ugga-duggas from top while it's not in the spring compressor. Make sure it's nice and tight. If it is, you're good to put it back on. So now we're back on the flip side. See the strut, everything. We'll go ahead, put this in time lapse so we can just get through this part real quick. All you're doing is just simply taking it back up top, putting the bolts back in first, and then once you get the top secured, you're going to come down and you're going to put the bottom in. Make sure that it's actually mounted and everything's good to go. So, here we go. So now we've got it done. You can see the bolts. Got them started on there, that way it holds the strut up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the 15mm socket and we're going to start driving those nuts down to pull the strut up. Alright, so I swapped to another flashlight, that way it doesn't die on me. Now we're going to put the rotor, the wheel hub, all that good jazz, the whole assembly, back onto the bottom of the strut. So what we can do now is we can lift up the vehicle. That way we're not bending over, crouching down, or sitting on our butt again. Get it shoved back in the slot. Start trying to work it back up and in there. If you need to. On in there. Once you got the bottom one in there, you don't have to necessarily get it drove onto it yet. Just get it in the hole, that way it's holding its spot. Go ahead and grab the top one. And get it in place. Once you got them both in place, like so, go ahead, take a hammer or something, smack this top end on, or you can do what I'm going to do. Just go ahead and start your nut onto this bolt and then just let it suck itself on there. So go get my tools and let's get that done. All right, get her done. Nut on. Can't talk. Long day. If you do happen to smack the bolt too much that it's too mushroomed out, you can use a file, a grind off wheel, just something to kind of burr it down without damaging the actual screw. Once you got that, swap back to an 18, and we'll get the stabilizer bar back on. Now it is recommended after doing all this to get an alignment, or do an alignment. That will not be in the video. Sorry guys, don't feel like staying here any longer. On there nice and good. Throw the wheel back on. Good to go.